Welcome back to Stooge Stream for another episode of the Impact Recap. This is the Impact Wrestling episode from the 17th of November 2016. I am your host, the Stooge. I'm joined always by the Crazy Steve to my beautiful abyss, the one and only Gbanks.
What's happening, YouTubers?
We've got a great episode of Impact to recap, so let's get right into it. It opens with Eddie Edwards coming to the ring, calling out DCC, which we now know as Kingston, Bram, and one and only James Storm.
So not New Day.
Not the New Day.
No.
With a video, they have a video package saying that yes, they accept the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
They jump James Storm live in person.
Yep.
Then Jeff Hardy runs in for the save. I like this opening.
Yeah, I did too.
It was good. It was quick. It was frenetic. It got everything.
Yeah,
moving.
it's funny that you say it was quick because actually very it just came up out of nowhere. It was like Eddie Edwards come out. I was like, yeah, no, I'll accept your challenge, whatever. And then they're like, okay, cool, he accepted our challenge. Let's go beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, and it just everything happened really. It was fluid and it got the show moving in the right direction. So Jeff and Eddie are backstage. They approach Aiden O'Shea, say, we got to talk to the boss.
Who's the real GM, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. And they go into that empty room, the broom closet behind Aiden O'Shea. Later on, they come out of the empty broom closet and say the boss said we can have the no DQ match that we wanted.
By the boss, you mean the broomstick?
Yeah, the broomstick.
Yeah.
Like, they're just making shit up.
Yeah.
There's going to be a reveal sooner or later of who that person is, depending if the company exists or not next year. And it won't, unfortunately, be Billy Corgan.
Oh, well.
First match of the night, we had Jessie Vs Arron Rex in a non-championship, just straight wrestling match.
Like, I would have been really pissed off if it was a grand championship match, but thank God it wasn't.
With all those stipulations and all that crap out of the way, these two proved that they can have a great match and have great chemistry in the ring. They're both fluid technicians and know what they're doing.
Look, they showed it in that, in that whole grand championship tournament. But, with the whole stipulations and everything, it just made it boring. Like, it was like, we've seen this 5 times now. Like,
it just got in the way.
Yeah. Like, so, it's not making any difference now. It's over. So
after this, I would be happy to see these guys wrestle any day of the week. Let's just keep the grand championship out of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So Jessie wins with a double leg Boston Crab submission on Arron Rex at the end of the match, which looked really nice. And Arron Rex tapped out.
Yeah.
And so
he couldn't get his any shenanigans in this time because it was a proper match.
Which was great as well, because there was no shenanigans, there was no knockout punches with the ring, there was it was just a wrestling match, and Jessie got a clean win. Next up, we had a backstage segment with Sienna, Luarel, Maria, and Allie. Luarel playing up that she's getting texts and messages from Braxton and possibly more.
I love her so much. She's so disapproving.
Dude, you got a thing.
No.
You got a thing. We found your thing.
What?
Disapproving women. We found your thing. And Allie, as always, is just the cutest, most adorable thing on the face of the planet. You just want to hug her and tell her everything's going to be all right. Maria is her bitchy self, and Sienna plays really well into the dominant heel character.
It's the evil stepmother and the
two evil stepsisters
and Cinderella story.
It definitely is, but the whole thing plays out really well because I think all of them know their characters well enough to play into them quite strongly.
Yeah, exactly.
In breaking news, we had Gail Kim has apparently for reals been injured and will be retiring and stepping aside in 2 weeks and handing over the title. Which will be a match between Rosemary and Jade, of course, which is Gail Kim's selected champion.
Her apprentice, you would say.
You would. They've definitely been taking her under her wing and grooming her. Later in the show, we see Jade backstage going to talk about that, and she's interrupted by Crazy Steve and Abyss, saying, Rosemary wants to talk to you, go find her in the rafters. Goes and finds her, and Rosemary, you think they're going to fight, but they don't. This segment was shot really well and done really well.
It was actually throughout the whole show, but
we're just condensing it into one thing. This was over, I believe, 2 segments.
Yeah, something like that.
But that second part with Rosemary and Sienna in the rafters was shot really well and done really well, and ultimately it leads to Rosemary challenging for a steel cage match with Jade. Sorry, I may have said Sienna a minute ago. I meant Jade. Jade for the title in 2 weeks' time. That's going to be awesome.
I can't wait. Take that, WWE.
Yeah,
you think you've had an awesome main event with a freaking Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. Look, that was
nothing.
That was a great match. I watched it. I really enjoyed it, but I'm really looking forward to it. I think this is going to be brutal.
This is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Like, the way these two girls wrestle, like, Jade being the hard styles,
Yeah, definitely.
And, we haven't seen much of Rosemary, but, she can go toe-to-toe. She has beaten Gail Kim. Yeah. She has beaten, the other wrestlers.
She's a great talent in the ring, and from my understanding, she wrestled a lot of hardcore in the independents, so I'm hoping that's
actually, I think her and Allie have had a thing in the independents, too.
Okay, that'll be interesting. Yeah. All right. Now that leads to the next in-ring segment, which is Maria, Allie, Sienna, and Luarel come to the ring. They're going to have a tag match versus Brandi and her partner.
Yeah, but we don't know yet.
It's been leading to you believing it's going to be Allie.
Yeah.
Maria sends Allie to the back saying, "Get out of here so you can't interfere." And Brandi's actual partner comes out, and it's the one and only Maddison Rayne.
Woo!
5-time women's champion. Fantastic in-ring performer. Now, before I get to how this match went, let's just take a couple of things into account. That Brandi Rhodes has only been training for a few months.
Yep.
This is only her beginning as an active competitor in wrestling, and she's doing it on a national stage in front of a lot of eyes.
Mm-hmm.
When you watch this match, you can clearly see that Maddison carries the bulk of the match because she has to, because Brandi's still very green. But the spots that Brandi gets, she snaps perfectly.
Yeah.
Now, the most important thing of every match is the end. And the end of this is Brandi getting a win with a standing DDT variation.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
It looked really
cool. As you said, she was pretty green and she did, stuff up a little bit here and there. But you got to take account that, she only been wrestling for, 2 months now?
A few months at best. And she's...
Well, professionally now, yeah.
And for the amount of time she's had in the ring, she's great.
Yeah.
She's going
to
be
at the end of the day, what everyone remembers is the end of the match. So
yeah. And Maddison carried that match and took some great bumps, did some great work, and proved again why she's a 5-time women's champion, how talented she is in that ring with anyone she's put against, in this case being Luarel and Sienna. Luarel did a great job of disapproving looks that gave Georgia half chub.
I was dying on the inside, to be honest. I was like, why can't she do this to me?
So she did a great job playing that character.
She did. Well, that's what I was about to say. Maddison Rayne did so well that not only did she put Brandi Rhodes over, she put the other two over.
She did. She did a great job of highlighting Luarel, Sienna, and Brandi in the match. While not burying herself either, while showing her skill at the same time. But she really did carry the bulk of it. And so it's hats off to Maddison Rayne in this match. Maddie. And all in all...
Performer of the night.
Yeah, definitely. And all in all, I really liked this match. I thought it was great.
Yeah, no, it was. Usually, a 4-way between wrestlers can go, pretty south pretty easily. But no, this one was all right. Like, as you said, Maddie carried the match and all the wrestlers played their part and it turned out to be a great match.
And we've got another 4-way match coming up later on in the show for the #1 contender that I can't wait to talk about as well. But
it's a great match.
Before that, we had the first of 2, so we'll talk about them both together. Broken Matt Hardy segments where he's no longer really broken, he's more domesticated.
Matt the engineer.
Yeah, Matt apparently he cooks custards now.
Yeah.
Ice cream. Has tasting parties.
Yes.
Yeah.
And eats candy now.
Deletes emails.
Yeah.
Especially the Young Bucks, because he's not into rock music. What a great way of getting a Young Bucks reference in. So Rebby comes along while he's deleting emails and says, "I'm going to make you watch some videos of."
Do you mean Debbie?
That's
Debbie.
Sorry. Callback from last week. Amazing. And later on in the show, there's a Matt Hardy reacts to Broken Matt Hardy segment, which was brilliant.
Yeah, Debbie come up and she was like, "This is you. This was you on our first, Maxwell's first birthday, and this is you on,
that looks expensive."
Yeah. Why am I shooting fireworks at my own flesh and blood?
And it was just great.
Yeah.
Like, it really was. Engineered, domesticated Matt Hardy reacts to Broken Matt Hardy.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's basically what in some parts what the wrestling community was saying about the angle until it got over. I think that's kind of what it is. Like, he's playing the part of a normal person who'd be watching this going, this is fucking ridiculous.
Like someone that's not a wrestling fan.
Yeah. This is crazy. This is insane. Why would you do this?
He's like the normal person in the wrestling world, if you put it that way. Like, you know what I mean?
It's great. I'm really enjoying these segments. I thought these were a great way to liven up the show. And Matt Hardy, not only, as everyone said, is having a renaissance as a, wrestling mind and performer and in this angle, but I just love the fact that he's having so much fun.
Yeah.
You can see how much he's enjoying himself, and it's coming across.
And that's what I was about to say, if he's having fun, we're having fun.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter how ridiculous it gets, because he's having so much fun, you're like, I'm coming along for the ride, dude. Like, this is great. So keep it up, really enjoying it.
Thank you, Matt.
Next up, we had that match that we mentioned earlier, the number one contenders 4-way. So it's the Miracle versus Lashley versus Trevor Lee versus EC3. The winner will become.
Now, you heard those
contender.
names, right? You think, wow, EC3, Bobby Lashley, Miracle, and then Trevor Lee. Pretty big names, right?
So here's how, you would imagine just hearing that would go.
Yeah.
Trevor Lee and Miracle are going to job out to Lashley and EC3. And EC3 and Lashley are going to have a 5-minute one-on-one fight, and one of them's going to win.
Yeah. You'd think that'd happen, right?
Not at all.
No. Not even close.
No.
And not even in a bad way, too.
No, this was if you ever want to do a fatal 4-way match, right? Like, if you're another company, a smaller wrestling promotion, I'd even say, even though I love WCPW and I think they're spectacular, even the guys from WCPW should watch this, because this is how you do a fatal 4-way that no one loses.
No, not at all. Holy shit, this was match of the night, fellas.
It was.
It was awesome. It was spectacular. This was one of those matches, I would honestly rate probably one of the best matches I've seen in the year so far.
And it's not even the spots that mattered, though. There was some brilliant
there was some great spots.
Like Lashley throwing Trevor Lee over the ropes.
No, Lashley throwing actual human beings over ropes and,
Like they were toys.
Yeah, like they were literal plush toys and stuff. It was ridiculous.
There was some amazing spots. The suicide dive from Eddie Edwards into the three of them. But
then Jeff Hardy doing this the Swanton.
No, the wrong match. The EC3.
Oh, yeah.
So there was these great spots here and there in the match, but the greatest part of this match is the fact that Trevor Lee is now a main eventer.
Yeah.
You cannot not put Trevor Lee in the main event.
No.
He just stood toe-to-toe with Lashley, EC3, and the Miracle, and came out looking like roses, dude.
Yeah.
And he lost the match.
Yeah, and he lost the match. Literally. And he was carrying.
Yeah. He was carrying these three guys through
those three big names he was carrying. Like, the guy that should have been the underdog in this match was carrying the three big dudes.
Now, we speculated last week that the reason that Trevor Lee won that match to qualify is because DJZ got injured.
Yeah.
Would have made sense for him to be in there with these guys.
Yeah.
Now, he wasn't. So I think what's happened is these guys are like, dude, this is your shot. We're just going to let you have it and stay out of your way. And he got to just own it.
Yeah. Well, apparently that's how he wrestles in the indies. So, if we can see more of that, please.
Yeah, it was great. So, ultimately, EC3 won with a rear naked choke on Trevor Lee. Yeah. But again, Trevor Lee didn't look bad. He came out. Not at all. Yeah, he
actually took out all the other wrestlers before and then, made it easier for EC3 to take him out.
Trevor Lee is the number one contender to EC3.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
We're going to discuss a little bit more of that in a second. But in this match context, yes, he is.
Yeah.
And Lashley and the Miracle were both great in it as well. Miracle played the cheeky heel, teaming up, and then the heels fall apart, and then they get back together, and they fall apart again.
Yeah.
And
Ashley just spearing people left, right, and center. It was awesome.
That spear on EC3 when Trevor Lee and the Miracle throw EC3 at Lashley, and that would just speared him out of the week, into next month. It was great. It was a great match. That was match of the night.
Easy.
Definitely match of the night.
Probably one of the contenders for match of the year.
Yeah. Now, after the other Matt Hardy segment, the second one we spoke about, the Matt Reacts, We had Eli Drake and his Fact of Life,
His, like actual show.
which was great. And he calls out EC3, who's just had that match.
I gotta say, I just love that fake laugh track and fake audience he's put into the show.
It's won me over.
Yeah, it's
won me
so
over.
good. It's so funny.
And the fact that he reacts to the fake laugh track, that's what won me over.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so good.
so Eli Drake calls out EC3, who was just in that match.
Yeah.
He comes out sweaty as and challenges him to a match. He's like, put up your number one contender, prove that you're great. And EC3 is like, no, but I'm going to give you a counter offer.
Yeah.
So I'll put up the number one contender spot and you put up your voice for the rest of 2016. So you're not allowed to talk for the rest of the year.
Like, see, on paper, you think, whoa, that's nothing. A voice, like, I'm putting over my voice over your title shot.
That's a dumb stipulation.
Yeah,
right?
I'll take that every day of the week.
No, this is a brilliant stipulation.
Yeah, especially for, like, these wrestlers.
Yeah, EC3 and Eli Drake are voices.
Exactly.
They are mouthpieces, and they are brilliant mouthpieces.
You could say they're the mouthpieces of the company.
100%, dude. And taking that away from one of them is taking away their money.
Eli Drake made himself through,
talking.
Like,
so it's great. I love this stipulation. This match is next week. If it wasn't for the fact that the women's match is in 2 weeks, like if that was next week, I'd be like, I'm really, really uber excited for that. But the fact that this is next week and that's in 2 weeks makes my day because I don't need to pick between them. Because I really want to see this so badly.
2 weeks of solid wrestling.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Now, we spoke about the Jade backstage segment with Rosemary in the rafters and so on. Basil Barraka.
Yeah, one half of the Tribunal
Versus Mahabali Shera.
Mahabali Hogan.
Great match.
Yeah.
This was actually a really good match. I really enjoyed this. There was just wrestling. Like there wasn't any spots in this.
No.
It's just two guys wrestling.
No big, big shots or anything like that.
It didn't even do a sky high.
No, not at all.
They're saving it.
Yeah.
Because that's coming. There's going to be a blow-off match, and we'll see all those big
big hits and
so
whatever.
This is
and you only saw
building.
one half of them too. Yeah.
I like it. It's a slow build. So Mahabali Shera wins with a submission, and the second he wins, Dax appears and jumps him. The other half of La Tribunal. And surprisingly,
guess who comes out?
Big Al Snow!
Whoop! The whistle.
There was a pop in the house.
Oh, there was.
So there's a comedy segment to start with where Al comes out with a whistle. And he's like, "Hey guys, I'm back. Come on, let's be friends again." And they're like, "No."
Yeah, get out of here.
And he throws his whistle away and turns around and pretends to be sad. And as soon as they turn their back, he jumps in there and jumps them.
Yeah, it was awesome. Saves Mahabali Shera.
It was great.
Yeah.
Classic Al Snow being funny and serious.
Yeah.
Within a second of each other, and it worked. Great. I love it. So I can't wait to see the clear tag team match that's coming.
Obviously. Do you reckon it will be them two, or will he find a partner for Mahabali Shera?
No, it'll be Al.
Yeah, okay.
But dude, come on, it's Big Al. Big Al can be 102 and still pull a match out of his ass.
He's one of those people like Flair's.
We joke, but he's a technician, man. Like so I'm looking forward to see Al. He is a monster in that ring.
Hey, and if you can see an old school wrestler wrestle one more time again, why the fuck not?
Yeah, anytime. And especially, like, he was somebody that he never should have got over. His gimmicks were dumb. He took literally the dumbest gimmicks, like Head, and got it over with a crowd. When he was a mid-card jobber, he came up with a gimmick with him and two other guys and called themselves the Job Squad and got it over. Like, he can just get anything over. He got over as the coach of the French team being a dumbass. Yeah. And then within a week, he can change that and be serious. And now he's gotten over as a serious... Like, Al is a legend. I love Al. As much as everybody loves to rib him in the industry, it's just because he can take it.
Yeah.
Then finally, we had the main event, what we were looking forward to, the first actual showing of DCC as a team. And it's Eddie Edwards and Jeff Hardy in a no DQ match, which they got from the imaginary GM versus Storm, Bram and Kingston.
Yeah.
This was some hard hitting.
Yeah.
Like, even the opening of Eddie Edwards hitting the three-way hit on them, and then Jeff Hardy doing the swanton onto... Like, it started just bang, bang. You're like, whoa, okay, so...
Yeah, that was literally all in the space of a minute. It was like, oh, fuck, okay. So this is what we're getting into.
Yeah, this is happening.
Yeah,
This is happening. There was some just ridiculous bumps in this. One, two, actually.
And it actually started off slow too.
Yeah, it built.
Like, you think it didn't, like, from the start when we said, like, oh, yeah, all that happened,
Yeah.
Eddie Edwards jumped off, But no, it started off slow
And then
after
it
that.
slowed down,
Yeah.
and it built and built and built. So there was a point where Kingston had 2 chairs in the ring back to back. So rather than the actual seats being together, the backs were together. You're like, why would you, like, are you going to put him through one chair than the other? Or,
Yeah,
like,
or
what
are
are
you just setting it up so he can just fall in all of them?
Yeah, like, what are you doing? Oh, he's trying to slam someone's spine onto the top part of the head of the 2 chairs. But anyway, it gets reversed and Kingston's spine lands on. Chairs don't give either.
No.
Like, he's gonna have a bruised back for a while.
Do you know that Simpson episode where Homer's fighting that guy and like he gets punched over, like he gets knocked out and he falls back onto that fire hydrant?
Yeah, he's like,
and awkwardly just falls back. And he's like,
oh, my spine.
Yeah, oh, my spine. Literally what that guy looked like.
yeah.
That's what Kingston looked like going on that chair.
It was crazy.
It was brutal.
But then Bram, being the crazy person that he is, had to out crazy Kingston.
Yeah, for no ungodly reason.
No, just to prove he was the Chesterfield plague has to be crazier than just a random dude named Kingston.
Yeah.
So he set up a chair on the outside, put Eddie Edwards on the apron, and then did the brighter side of suffering, which is a face first head plant through the table. And the table didn't just break in. It
shattered.
Exploded.
Shattered like glass.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was like, as you said, it was like, oh, you did something crazy? I'll do one better.
Yeah, I'm going to out crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, don't do that.
Yeah.
It's not a challenge. Like, he took it personally and he won the challenge that didn't exist. That was a brutal bump for both of them. That was brutal. I loved it. It looked kind of safe, but it was still brutal nonetheless.
Still brutal.
Now Storm wins with an out of nowhere super kick on Jeff Hardy after he'd pulled the Twist of Fate on him. Twice. Yeah. But that just tucked in close super kick is so good.
Like, he's on par with being just as good as Shawn Michaels on the
super... trained by Shawn Michaels.
Oh, well, there we go.
Yeah. That it was...
you look at it, right, and it's like, fuck, did he connect, right? But no, you play back and it's like, oh shit, he barely even touched Jeff, and he was so close. And he was so close to him too, but it made it look like he kicked his jaw straight over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was ridiculous.
It was great. Like he's been doing it forever. The last call super kick, and it always looks spectacular. But just, I don't know. There was something because Jeff can sell as well. There was something special tonight. Like Jeff was putting it over, and it was a really good.
Like if it wasn't for the 4-way, this would have been match of the night.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Like.
Because there were some great spots.
There were some great spots. There was some psycho spots. And there was some great storytelling. Like, DCC had to win to prove they're a strong unit against 2 champions.
Like, I would, I was expecting them to win. Like, it would have been weird if they'd lost. It would have been like, okay, you just came out, did all this, and now you lose your first match.
For what?
Yeah. Against 2 people. Yeah.
And now you're jobbed out and you guys are dead in the water.
Yeah.
But no, this puts them over because they beat 2 champions, man. They beat the world heavyweight champion and the tag team
of the tag team champion.
No, he's the tag team champion at the moment.
Josh did say that.
Yeah, because he's got both the belts, and he doesn't have a partner. So, this is all in all. This is a really tight episode of Impact as well. There wasn't too much recapping. I think there was only one Gail Kim recap.
Yeah, that was about the only. Like there was recaps throughout the whole show, but it was very quick. It was like, okay, this is what happened last week, and moments ago, this
30-second spots and stuff. Yeah.
That's sweet, but
that's
fine.
The
only pretty long one was the Gale King.
That's fine. Like it's Gale.
It was
built into a story. It was built into something. Like they're obviously going to use it as an angle, so they kind of ran it again. But and it tied into the whole Rosemary Jade thing and so forth. So that was fine, and it didn't go for too long.
No,
it wasn't like they did a half recap show like they've been doing lately. And everything it's building up to, I'm really excited for. Like, I'm excited to see Eli Drake and EC3, Jade and Rosemary in a steel cage. Where are we going with DCC? Who are they going to take out next? What titles are they going to go for? They're a heel fraction. They've got to hold some titles at some point to make them important, right?
Like TNA are proving week in, week out that, you know, they're not going anywhere. Like, they're not dying. Like, it's, you know, like, as I said last week, I don't know if you remember, like, I was worried, like, with all this rumors and speculations going around with the whole court case that,
What's going to happen?
What's going to happen? Are the wrestlers going to keep wrestling? Are they going to actually, perform and stuff? But no, they keep, giving us awesome episodes week in, week out.
Yeah, they have been.
Yeah.
I like the broken Matt Hardy stuff. This has been like, people are talking about this. And even the Knockouts division, I mean, they've been performing since its inception at a much higher level than what the Divas were. It's only now that the WWE Women's Division is catching up to what the Knockouts have been since their inception. So there's always some great performances in there, and we see some great matches like we did tonight with some new talent, some old talent, some developing talent in Luarel and Sienna and Allie.
And Trevor.
We see Trevor Lee in a match where he should have been jobbed out, who has just jumped to a new platform. This is just a great episode, and it highlights what TNA is. And keep it up.
Yeah.
So I'm done. I've got nothing left to say. So thank you so much for listening. As always, we're going to be here every week to recap the greatest, the second greatest behind WCPW wrestling show currently around. I'm going to get some hate and shade for that.
Doesn't matter.
It's in character, people. I'm excited to see what happens next. I've been your host, the Stooge. Joining me, as always, is my host, sidekick, co-host, person that puts this all together is Gbanks.
Peace, YouTubers. Have a good one.
Adventure, excitement. Stooge craves not these things.
Welcome to the Stooge Revolution.